Welcome to the Land Your Bet Sports Betting Live Show. Got a couple people already in the comments. What's good, Elwood? How you feeling today, bro? Thoughts on Davinia? Is that typo? Let me know who you're talking about with the PRA there. And then Durant. Oh, you meant Durant. My bad. Okay, Durant. Or no, you want also Durant PA. So let me know who the first one was. You got a look at Sabonis as well. PRA, Durant, you like. And then we got Kyrie. What's up, Alex? I think I'm saying it right, Alex. Kyrie over 22.5 and Cam over 24.5 is his prop. It was open at 23.5. So you like Kyrie and Cam Thomas. We can look at all this stuff. I got a couple looks already on this pretty big slate here on Friday. So we're going to try to run through many of these games, I should say, as we can. It's been a long Friday already. I'm not going to lie to y'all. So I'm going to do my best to rack my brain for more stuff. I feel fried as fuck. I'm going to be honest with you. Got NFL picks coming out too. The cross sport shit is what gets me, because when you just focus on one sport, a little bit easier. But what's good, Free Sauce? Always good to have you in here, and you, Alan, as well. We got top motherfucker in here. PG we like tonight. He's the only dude that it has an offensive game that's gonna be playing for sure. So we can take a look at all this. Let me put some stuff up here so I don't forget. Start getting this list going. What's up, Joe Johnson? Yo, I was talking about this earlier with people. What's up, Corey? What's my guy? Good to have you in here, man. And then I was just looking at Scotty P. Yeah, crazy high. He's at what, 15.5 points, 7.5 assists. So he's crazy. What's good, Joe? Good to have you. And you, Larry, Stone Cold. Always appreciate y'all being in here. Zion was just ruled out, so we're gonna have another G League squad on the floor for the Pellies. Let me get into the up next stuff and start writing some stuff down that y'all are talking about. I remember a bunch of them. I remember Cam Thomas. I remember Kyrie. I remember KD. That was from, I forget, at the beginning we had that one, right? From Elwood. And then, Elwood, let me know who you're talking about with Davinia. I think that was a typo, so I want to know which one you were talking about right there. Let me put Paul George in here, PG in that game for the I almost said the Clippers, for the 76ers, who are going to get smacked tonight, I would imagine. Let's see. Yeah, we know about the Jalen Wells bet from the VIP if you were looking at that, but we got a good amount in here. I'm going to hit save for now. I'm going to get everything going on the bottom line as well. Let me make sure I don't have, so we got the leans in there that I'm going to get from the show and put in there. We only had 3 games yesterday, so it's tough to find everything that we liked, but we got plenty to work with today, so we're going to get it going. I'm trying to move at the same pace that I normally move at, but sometimes y'all tell me I move too fast anyway, so maybe being slow today is going to be good. Let's start with Cam Thomas, and we'll get into that Brooklyn game. I don't think, Sabonis. Got you. Thank you. All right, cool. Sabonis, right. So let me put him in there too, because I actually saw a couple of bets on him. I know Prop Bomb was actually on his under, I believe, on the points for Sabonis there. So keep that in mind. But let's start with that Brooklyn game, because I do think this is going to be a little closer than we think. Always blowout potential with the C's, obviously, if they hit their threes. But this Brooklyn team does defend the 3 really well. So whenever I'm, looking at an opponent for the Celtics, I want to know how they guard the 3. And I know that the Nets have been doing that pretty well this season. If we look at it, get this right. Opponent stuff just on NBA Advanced Stats. Hitting opponent and hitting 3-point. I want to know, do they give up 3-point attempts? So Brooklyn's limiting teams to the 3rd fewest attempts from deep, and they're number 1 in limiting 3-point makes. So that makes me think, at the very least, maybe they can hang with this Celtics squad, who's going to be missing Jaylen Brown again, and maybe he means more to this team than we realize. But if we start with Cam Thomas, the reason you would look at Cam is because this is what the Celtics have been historically bad at, is limiting ball handlers up top, shooters, spark plugs like this dude. You can see they give up the 3rd or 4th most points to the pick and roll ball handler here. And their defense up top isn't as bad as last year. So their above the break 3 defense is actually pretty good this year. 13th, not bad, still top half of the league there. So it's not quite as bad as last year, but they do give it up to scores, and they play that drop D, as we know. Al Horford is going to be the center for the most part. Kada, I guess, will be in there for a bit, but they're just going to be dropping down, and that should leave Cam open. If we look at where he's from the mid-range, they're giving it up a little bit more from the mid-range. Actually, they're giving it up from down low too. They really miss Kristaps, to be honest. So Cam is shooting most of his shots from up top, but he's getting all over, honestly. Anywhere from the mid-range and out, he's good, honestly. So he's going to keep going. He is trying to get free throws a lot, is the thing. He foul hunts, and he's only getting to they're giving up the 5th fewest free throw attempts, or free throw points, I should say, are the Celtics. They're always good at not fouling. So that's something to keep in mind. Let me see what he did, and it's not the same. But last year against them head to head, he had a couple big games for sure. Was missing Cam Johnson, but still missing Cam and Claxton. And then in this one, missing Simmons, whatever. Yeah, I still think he's going to be good for shots. If we look at the attempts this year, obviously we're getting the benefit of him having a couple bad games, 6 for 17 and 6 for 17 back to back here. So he's still taking 17 shots and just missing them. Obviously, he shoots a slightly better percentage and he's much closer. I think this is a good look. I do think Cam Thomas is a decent play. Schroeder's going up against them and he's not likely to get very many assists, but that doesn't mean Cam's not going to get his, because Cam doesn't really need assists to get his points. And this has probably been bet down from 6.5. Not as many left. It's minus 150, so that's not worth it. But that's the thing we're always looking at with the Celtics is they don't give up assists, but they will give up points to the ball handler because they're not going to double. So they're not going to give stuff up to spot up shooters, which kind of makes me want to go under on Cam Johnson. Yeah, Cam got his points against teams that give up stuff to the spot up here with the Pistons and the Memphis Grizzlies. They help off a lot more and collapse. So that allows people to get spot up shooters. That's what Cam does, right? He's shooting most of his stuff off spot up. This is the number one defense against spot up shots. I kind of like Cam to go under, to be honest with you, in this one. I'm going to put Cam Thomas over right now, but there might be a nice little Cam parlay, the Cam. Let's see. We'll go Cam T. I like him at 23.5. I mean, 24.5, whatever. It's getting a little bit close there to the edge, but we'll say over for right now for him on that. I might want to look at it a little bit more, but I don't want to spend too much time on it. So I'm saying Cam T over points for now. I'm putting this on the bottom line, so it's going to be scrolling for y'all that come in late or what have you. I haven't even shared my screen. Are y'all telling me that in the comments? Man, somebody was probably telling me that. Maybe not. But yeah, I was supposed to be showing you this on the screen. That's my bad, y'all. Let me get into it. Smoke more weed. Let's see here. Let me get this out the way. Get myself out the way. Get my player props. Share this screen so you can see what I'm looking at. All the tools that I'm using too for everybody jumping in, those are going to be in the description of the video, links to all of them, so that you can make sure you know exactly what I'm using here, and then you can use it yourself. So I was looking at Cam Johnson. He shoots all his stuff from spot up. 7 of his points per game. What's he at? 16.6. Yeah, and he's had some outliers here. So 14 is what he butts up against. I don't know that I want to fade him in this one, but I don't love taking too many overs, even though it is the play for against the Celtics. I mean, Steph did it, but that's Steph. We're going to say Cam T right now. I see y'all over on that, and I'm with it more than I'm against it. So we'll put it in the leans for right now. Booker questionable now. Appreciate you, Free Sauce. He doesn't want to see Papa Luka. That's true. That's going to haunt him forever, yo. I was looking at what's up, Young, and I was looking at Jared Allen too. Let me put him in here because I think centers are good to get rebounds against the Warriors, who really, they play TJD, but when you got a good rebounding center against him, you can still do work. So I like that as a look because Jared Allen, dude, is getting just boards galore. I'll put PR in here because you said that. I don't always love adding points for Jared Allen, to be honest. I think the defense for the Warriors is good. The rebounding is what sucks against the centers. So it makes me scared because he doesn't really create his own shot, right? Jalen Johnson under PRA as well. I see you on that. I like Jalen Johnson to get 10 boards is the thing. But his points and everything is getting real high. You're right about that. We'll put Jay Johnson. We'll just put JJ in here. Heretofore, it's JJ for Jalen Johnson. All right. Who's got time to say all those syllables? All right, so Cam T, I'm putting down there as a lean. I don't want to commit to that one right now. I know what it's about. It's just not necessarily enough to place a bet for me at that number against, even though it's a team that gives up. Like, I just hate taking too many dudes overs that are that high against the Celtics. But all right, let's keep it rolling real quick so I can keep some stuff going, and I'll get back into the chat to see these comments. I'm going to go to this Mavs game for a minute. So we got this one starting actually kind of early in Dallas. So Luka, if y'all don't know already, Luka does ridiculous things against the Suns. He hates Booker. It's for real. Whatever hate, like sport hate, whatever, like on the floor hate. But let's see, Luka versus Suns last 8 regular season games. Just to have this all right in front of us. So Luka Doncic in his last 8 regular season games is averaging 33.4, but there's a game in here where he played 3 minutes, got hurt, and came out, right, and scored 0 points. You take that one out, in his last 7, he's at 38 a game against this team. He's hitting about 4.5 threes. And that's something that I would keep in mind. I know we're talking about Kyrie, but first and foremost, like Luka is the sun, everything revolves around him, right? So we got to at least consider what he's going to do first. He does not assist nearly as much against this team. He's got some decent assist numbers against this squad, but I mean, like even earlier this season, 4 dimes and then 11, 9. He had one with 15. That was a 50 burger with 15. That was ridiculous. 4, 0, 8, 6. So like he's not guaranteed. He's only at 7 assists per game versus this team. He likes to go all the way to the bucket. It's a reason that you might consider like an under for Klay Thompson, who I initially wanted to go over on. But you do consider that, yeah, the assists for Luka are not as likely to come in a game where he's looking at the points. But even with the points, Kyrie doesn't need anybody to let him get his. He gets his. It's at 23.5, which is a little bit high. You can see in this one last game, he did take 22 shots against this team, and you can get them in ISO ball, I believe. No, they're second best in ISO. I'm completely wrong about that. It's mostly just if you're on ball. If you're the primary scorer with the ball in your hand, they're not as good defending you as they are limiting other guys on the floor, like, say, spot ups and such. Klay went off in the last one for sure, had plenty of open shots. The Suns have gotten a little better on defense since then. I'll say that. What's their defensive rating? They are 8th in the league. Yeah, so it has gotten better. 8th in D rating on the season for them. For Kyrie in this one, I mean, there's not much to give me an edge at 23.5. I know people love betting on Kyrie. I do in the right moments, but I need at least an angle or something. So if y'all are trying to bet on Kyrie, maybe give me a hint as to why you're looking at him other than he's really good at basketball, which we all already know. Same with KD. I'll be honest with y'all. Like you hopefully maybe you'll just learn this about me, but like dudes like KD and Kyrie, without a reason, without an edge that I find, whether it's an angle or the number is a little bit low, like this number isn't low, right? I know he's averaging 27.8 on the season, but even at this number, it's a 5 out of 8 hit rate. So just barely over half the time. Minus 110 for him to get 27 points, basically averaging that on the season, just doesn't quite do it for me, to be honest with you. And against the Mavs, he had the 21 shots, 20 shots, 13, 16. So it's these random games where it's like they need him, but he's just not bringing it. I guess you could say he would bring it against this team, but that's just mental psyche stuff that I'm not really looking into. So for KD, like I can see the PA, like the points and assists. I just don't have anything for this matchup that makes me go, yeah, KD is going to pass more or shoot more than normal. It's really just like a matter of if he wants to or doesn't he. I don't want to put my money on that. I'd rather feel comfortable. Like I'm not just 50-50 bet. Let's see how it goes. I want a little bit more than that. So now, like, just for instance, PG, at the very least, a starting point angle for Paul George to get his points tonight is that there's nobody else to get points for this team right now, right? So I'm looking at the 76ers and the Lakers. There should be a decent amount of points from the Lakers, but you look at the 76ers this season, and that offense is poo-poo doo-doo, right? So it's tough to say that. Now, he went 7 for 9 in not that many minutes in this last game, the loss to the Clippers. They lost by 12, but they gave up hella early, which was disheartening, whatever. So for Paul George now, if you think he's going to play, 32, 33 minutes, as long as they don't get blown out, I would say the Lakers, did they win that game without AD the other game? No, they lost to Memphis. That's right. They lost by 17. They're coming back off a loss, and they usually get pissed. No, that loss to the Pistons was bad. Then they get smacked by the Grizzlies. Are they in trouble? 24-point loss to the Cavs. 3 of their last 4, they lost by at least 12 points. And then one of them they won against the Raptors. I don't know, bro. Yeah, I don't think blowout necessarily. I don't think we should be assuming that the Lakers are going to blow anybody out right now. So let's keep that in mind, in which case Paul George will likely be the main reason that they are not getting blown out. So he would have to put up some points. I think he and Tsunami Papi over here, Kelly Oubre, are good looks. I mean, we'll see without Maxey if they give Jared McCain some run. So that's the problem with like trying to pick this outside of Paul George is like anybody else that you try to target for an over in this game, it's tough to figure out who's going to get the run in Maxey's absence. And Paul George will probably be doing most of the pick and roll ball handling and stuff like that. Let's see real quick what this team is bad against. Pull up Tsunami Papi. He's been spotting up, but he's probably going to have the ball in his hands a lot more alongside Paul George, right? Kind of liking the idea of Paul George assists now, but I'm just looking at what the Lakers are bad at. So they're bad at ISO defense. They don't get back in transition. Second most points there. We know Kelly Oubre is going to be heavy in the break there. So is Caleb Martin, to be honest. They're not giving me his play type stuff. But he's going to get out in transition too. All this stuff is low, and the total in this game is like 221.5. But like I said, I don't think the Lakers should be given the benefit of the doubt that they're going to blow anybody out. I think they get their points against this defense that has no rim protection. But my favorite play from this game is for sure Anthony Davis. I mean, if you look at where this team is weakest, Andre Drummond is not a defender. He's just a big body that tries to block shots and fails, and then gets some rebounds a lot. But that's all he does off the misses. So they're giving up like the third most points inside of 5 feet. AD should eat tonight. And one more little angle just to keep kind of like reiterating, like I need more than I either need the math for the points or the prop to be low, or I need an angle to tell me why this prop should be higher, such as for me, for AD, the reasons I like it at top line, 27.5. Obviously he's averaging 32.5. With good reason and consistently getting over 27.5, except for one game against the Cavs. Really good defense. They got blown out and he played 31 minutes rather. So he wasn't even getting the same usage that he normally is, which is 20 shots or more. So I like that he's getting 20 shots or more. I know that JJ Redick has said very specifically he prioritizes AD this season. He and LeBron James have officially pass that torch to AD to say, this is your offense. It runs through you. We'll make sure you're the first option on offense as many times as possible down on offense. So with all that in mind, I know that they're prioritizing him. I know his usage is going to stay high. And I also know LeBron James just played his 35 minutes. It was his highest usage. He had 39 points, took 24 shots, hasn't even come close to that earlier in this season. So coming off a game like that for this man, I know that he's not trying to take over on the offense. We know that AD is already a priority. Plus he's in a spot that LeBron is at least tired and needs a little bit more rest. So love AD to do his thing in this game and get the points. Would consider him for some ladder stuff as well. For PG, I think it's a good look. I get it. I'm going to put it on the bottom line alongside AD. Because I do think they're going to be in this game. And Paul George is going to have to be a big reason that they are in this game. So that's all I need to know. I'm going to go ahead and put that on the bottom line for a minute. So all the bets here are scrolling. I got PG over 22.5. I think that's a really beatable number. And then we got AD over 27.5 points as well. Very beatable number for the league leader in points per game, Anthony Davis. Let's look at Sabonis in this Kings game. That is an interesting bet. I see some people going under for him. Where did I go? My bad. Against the Clippers. So a couple of big men, Sabonis and Zoo in this one. Let's look at Sabonis. He's down to 16.5. This would be called the prop bomb bump, I'm pretty sure. PB gave this out at under 17.5. It's now at 16.5, and it's juiced to the under as well. So they really don't think he's getting his points in this matchup versus the Kings or the Clippers. They are really good inside the painted area, 5th inside in 5 feet, and then 9th in the extended paint area. They are good against the roll man. We got Zoo playing his drop defense as well. Pretty good limiting free throws. That's really how he needs to get his points, obviously. So the points for him are pretty good fade, I would imagine. The assists are at 6.5. And he's been going clean over that. 14 potentials, so only 6 potentials, 17 potentials. Not as reliable as it was last year, but every other game he's got like 6 potential assists, meaning he's not really involved in the passing game as much. But I would imagine, let me pull this up on outlier.bet for a minute. I would imagine that let me pull this up on Outlier. Really good tool. If you don't yet have an account yet with Outlier, there's a link in the description of the video. Gets you a free week trial if you want to check it out and try it out. So all right, let me look at one of the nice things about Outlier. We can see exactly how the defense matches up versus position for now. Still waiting on Courtside Pal to update into 2024. So that's a really valuable tool that we don't have at our disposal right now. It's fine. We'll just use this for now, which is just defense versus position. Not the most reliable, but at least we can look at it. So points, rebounds, and assists, it's at least a good starting point. If we look at this team versus center points, Clippers are giving up the 16th most points, so not too good, but they're limiting rebounds and assists really well. This defense overall is limiting things really well and plays really slow and really aggressive. Really, really good defense for the Clips this year. I believe they're still in the top 10 in D rating. I should be able to actually see that right here. They are 6th in defensive rating. Yeah, so they're still doing their thing on D. I can see this game being a little bit lower scoring for sure. It's going to need to be if they're going to stay in it. Wow, James Harden's points seem kind of low at 21.5. We'll take a look at that in a sec. I saw someone bring Harden up. Let me see how Domas has fared against this team in the past. So last year had a pretty good game at the end there. No Malik Monk, no Kevin Huerter in that game. And then 2 of the 3 that he had all his players with him alongside him, he went under on the points. Most of those games, I'm assuming Zubac was in. I think 16.5, we kind of lost the edge. I mean, on the season this year, he's at 20, but it's still about a 50% hit rate. So even the 20-point average with this few games isn't as important as I think hit rate, right? And what is the most likely outcome? And so 17.5 was a nice under still. 16.5, you're getting a little bit dicey. So yeah, I'm going to pass on the Sabonis points, especially because that's the thing that that Zubac and company are giving up more than anything. The rebounds and the assists are things that they limit. So 12.5 seems kind of high. What's he done against them with the boards? Had a couple big games in those ones. Did Zubac play in those? Let me just pull him up to see if he was in those games at the end of the season last year versus the Kings. Looking at head-to-head, he missed one of them. So, yeah, one of those games with the boards, he was out. I'd be fading Sabonis before I'd be going over on anything for him tonight. Like, even his PRA might be a play. Let me see real quick. Yeah, I think the PRA, 29.5. This season's probably averaging way more. But so 3 more. Couple of these games, I mean, like I said, centers can eat against the Warriors. He had 18 boards in that one. And then the Nuggies have been giving it up to centers, as we know as well. 29 rebound chances in that one. And the Suns with Nurk, I don't really like Nurk's defense either. So, yeah, and he always plays well against Nurk, even in this one where he also went over. So, yeah, I mean, even against Ayton, against the better defense in the Thunder. Yeah, this is Zoo, my bad. But, my bad. Yeah, I thought I was looking at Sabonis still when I came to Zoo for some stupid reason because I was just trying to see how Zoo did the other day. All right, whatever. I still think that this is a better under for Sabonis is what I'm getting at. So let's keep it moving. Let me update this and get back in the comments. I'm going to look at Jarrett Allen. That's who Jarrett is. And then I got Jalen Johnson as well. So PG was a lean to the over on the points. Sabonis is a lean to the under on pretty much everything. I want to make sure. What's his PRA at? It's at 36.5. Yeah. I mean, I would definitely be leaning to the under on that, even though he's averaging the 40.6. I don't like him in this matchup versus Zoo. They're really good against centers, et cetera. So we're good there. I do want to check Ivy. You got Jaren Jackson. Jesus. Jaren Jackson on under on the rebounds and assists from Jose. It's an interesting look. Let's see. J-Dub on some threes. Interesting. What's PTA, play type analysis? Is that, I think is what you mean, but they do have it. It's just for some players, for some reason, it's not pulling through as for whatever reason for those guys. But for the most part, it is pulling through the play type analysis. Like right here on DeMontis, you can see the play type analysis versus the defensive rank for the Clips. So it's up there. But all right, I was updating. This is what I was doing before I distracted myself. And I remember what I had. I do, I promise. I don't. Jaren Jackson Jr. we'll look at. Let's look at J-Dub. I think Shy is a good bet tonight. So we'll look at the OKC game. J-Dub. We got SGA I want to look at. And you were asking about someone different. I forgot because I got on my own shit. Yeah, I do want to look at Jaden Ivey real quick. So we'll look at that. SGA, we already had a request for, so that's good. Free Sauce is looking under for James Harden, so we can look at that as well. Let me know what you're thinking with Miles Turner. I always need a reason to bet Miles, like maybe there's a good matchup for whatever reason. So let me know if you have an angle for that one, Alex, and we can talk about it. All right, I'm putting the one that I missed. Harden was the one that I didn't talk about, and we were just in this game. So let's at least just bring Harden up, and then I'll look at Jarrett Allen. And then we got to at least look at that Memphis game, and then we'll look at that OKC game. That's how we're going to do it. So this will say up next, but we're going to be looking at that game as a whole. All right. And then Cody wants to look at Christian Brown. Yeah, we got to look at the Nuggets a little bit. We at least put Christian Brown to remind us to get to the Nuggets game. All right. Let's get to James Harden real quick in this one. This defense has been pretty good up top as well for the Kings this season. I'll say that. So Harden has been going under for sure. Assists as well. Yeah, he's had 3 bad games in a row. Just got hella rebounds against the Thunder, the Spurs, and the 76ers. Surprisingly, he was bad against the Sixers. They suck. Was that a blowout? Yeah, they won by 12, but he played 34 minutes and didn't really do shit. Scoring wise, yeah, he had the 18 and 6. I guess he didn't have to do that much, but And then Maxey went down, and that game was pretty much over. And it was slow and choppy and crappy. So I would expect that in this one for James Harden. Points, rebounds, and assists at 36.5. 3 bad games in a row. I actually think the points are low. I think this might actually be the buy low spot for Harden, to be honest with you. I guess he's only averaging the 20, and he has had some big games over here, but I would imagine that to continue. I mean, this is a really good defense. The Spurs, not as much. He should have done better against the Spurs, to be honest. He only took 10 shots. Yeah, I guess you have to worry about those random games where James Harden just doesn't go off versus does. Another player I hate to bet on, to be honest, at this point in his career, especially because the assists all of a sudden just disappeared. Thunder makes sense, but not even. The Thunder he could still have gotten assists off against, and he didn't. So, I would be going under for Harden in this matchup. But like I said, on the PRA, it seems a little high. But the points at 21.5, when it's just always been at about 22 to 23.5, this is like a number that feels pretty low to me. So even though it's juice to the under, what do I know about Harden? That's where I'm at with him. So let me now go to Jarrett Allen because he's next up. We'll look at that Cavs and Dubs game. Where you at, Cavs and Dubs? All right. I'm assuming his rebounds are still crazy. So this is Jarrett Allen. Yeah, that's points. Okay, 14.5 and then 11.5 on the boards. Even money. Juice to the under, though. And Pinnacle, the smart book, has this at 10.5. Interesting. Juice to the over, but you can get 10.5 on Jarrett Allen rebounds, and that seems to be going down, which is interesting. But if we pull him up over here, we'll see that they're getting a lot more. They're giving up rebounds and they're giving up stuff for sure. Let me the Dubs are to the center position. Let me pull that up. So in 2024, let me go to PRA so I can just see all of it. So when I at least just pull up PRA and go all the way to the bottom and see how they rank against all three, nice and easy. Really good limiting points. This is one of the second best defense in the league. Good limiting assists. Look at the center position, giving up a bunch of rebounds, giving up a bunch of assists. And this is what I was saying is I don't really love taking the points for Jay Allen as much as I like the rebounds for him in this game, but they're going down at 10.5 now. On the season, he's at 11.9. So you get this at 10.5, even for minus 130. I think you're in a pretty good spot. The minutes that he's been averaging, let's at least start to math a little bit. The minutes that he's been averaging is 30.5. I'm going to pull up ETR just to see what their minutes are for him and how they're listing his projected minutes. That's so crucial. I've said that a million times. I'll say it again, and you'll see when I bring up the baby model in a minute why it's so important. I didn't want that. I want this. Did he get there in time? All right. So I'm pulling up Jarrett Allen. So I'm going to Cleveland. Projected minutes for Cleveland. You got Jay Allen at 31.5. They have him at 11.4 boards, 15.6 points. So a little bit of an edge. So that's, 20. That's 28. No, 27. That's 27 PR. Is he at 25.5 or 26.5? I bet he's 25.5. Yeah, 25.5 on the points and rebounds combined. I can see that. Let's see what he did against him. But like I said, this defense is still really good. So even if it's giving up some rebounds to centers, it's not giving up points to centers, not games without. Let me look at head-to-head last year when they played. Yeah, he didn't really do as much on he had one game with like 5 boards and then 12 points, 9 boards. Yeah, he didn't do as much with the boards against them last year, but I think they're playing a little bit smaller this year. I know they are. There's no Kevon Looney in there to battle with him. Although we might see Looney get a few more minutes now that I'm thinking about it. So Looney has come out to do better on the boards for this team when they play teams with lots of bigs, which we know the Cavs have. Kenny Atkinson, former coach for the Warriors, might know how to use him. So, yeah. I think, I think that Jarrett Allen is someone unfortunate I have to stay away from, although the rebounds at 10.5 starts to get nice and spicy. A lot of books are just copying what Pinnacle had, right? So you see these other books starting to dumb their stuff down. This will probably get to 10.5. If this gets to 10.5, like minus 115 or better for Jarrett Allen, I think that's a look on the boards. I'm going to put the 10.5 in there. I like that number a lot. Allen over 10.5 revs. That's going on the bottom line. For y'all that didn't realize, everything scrolling on the bottom line has the leans that we pick up on the show. but I'm saying I'm not taking that past minus 115. I'm going to show you a little bit about how I'm coming up with these numbers real quick. For those of y'all that want to learn a little bit for a minute. I mean, some of y'all might know this, but some of y'all might not. So if you've been here before, you've seen me pull up what I call the baby model. Still not robust enough to be considered a daddy model, whatever you want to call it, a big adult model. It's just still kind of a baby one. Reason being, what I'm doing here is just taking into consideration what are his averages, what are his projections, and with the odds that we're given, is it worth it to make a bet? So that's why I'm going to put in for Jared Allen. I'm going to do his Rebs. I'm going to put this at 10.5. The under odds are like, it was like plus money basically, right? I always forget this. If I'm looking at 10.5, yeah, so it's even money for the under and minus 130 to the over. So 100 to the under. This is where everything just slows the fuck down. Come on. And minus 130 to the over. His minutes are at 30.1. His prop is at 11.9, right? Let me make sure I'm not messing that up. This season, he's at 11.9 boards, right? And that's in 30.5 minutes. Cool. 30.5. Update that. And if the minutes projection for him on ETR was 31.5, you get an extra minute for him in there. Now I'm just going to put the implied probability percentage. So what if the under is even money, then it's a 50-50 shot. I know that for a fact. If it's minus 130 to the over, then I need to pull up my odds calculator because I can't do that level of hood math, and go minus 130. And that's a 57% implied probability. So this is probably going to give me an edge, telling me to bet the over. Not quite enough, though. So even at this is what I'm saying. So minus 130 is not enough for me to take over 10.5 boards, even though I like 10.5 as a number for Allen. But the edge with that with the minus 130 odds, the return that I'm getting means that I don't have enough of an edge to make the risk worth the reward, if that makes sense. So this is simple risk versus reward. Now, if I put this at minus 115, this is why I'm saying, like, this is what when someone says I would play this up to minus 115, I would play this down to minus 140. They've done the math to go, it's not worth it anymore. Risk versus reward. It's not worth it if this is at minus 130. But if this is minus 115 for the over odds, and the implied probability to the over at minus 115 is 53%. 53%. Now the edge is 15% because the return on my investment at minus 115 makes it worth it. I need this to be at least 10%. I want it to be as close to 20% as possible. So if I get that number, minus 115, then I'm taking Jared Allen over boards. So that's what I put at the bottom for y'all to take a look at there. All right. I like that for him. Anything else from this game? Yeah, there's nothing else from that game. We want to go to OKC. And the Jalen Johnson stuff, I'll just get that out the way and then we can go to OKC. I love everything that Jalen Johnson is doing this year. I think we're still getting a little bit of value on his rebounds more than anything. The boards are at 9.5 and now it's minus 105. So you can take him to get 10 boards. And at minus 105, I still think that's worth it because Jalen Duren is not in. That's part of the edge that I like here is that this is actually a good rebounding team and good down low when Jalen Duren is in. You can see they're number one in terms of limiting opponents' rebounds. Jalen Duren is getting all of them. Tobias Harris has been a good board rebounder too, but in part, Jalen Duren is boxing out like 2 or 3 dudes at once. Big reason for it. As far as the under for everything for Jalen Johnson, I'm not trying to take an under on everything for him. I see that things are a little bit high for sure at like 34.5. You're starting to get into that high zone, but honestly, like he's the second option without Bogey. You have no DeAndre Hunter in there as well. So I have his numbers right now without DeAndre Hunter. I should be clear. So the 34.5, it looks a lot better. I had a filter on for no DeAndre Hunter, but if you take that off, he is at 34.8 for the season. So the PRA are too high is basically what I'm saying. The assists at 4.5, big edge the other day at 3.5, but at 4.5, not much of an edge, even at, especially at minus 120. So I prefer the rebounds for him. I did a little parlay of 15 points, 10 plus boards for Jalen Johnson, gave that out in the VIP. So I'll just let you all know that who are listening. That is the way that I wanted to play him because I got that right at about even money for him to get that. So I like that for JJ. Let me just keep it going so I can get through a few more. I might have to cut it a little bit short today, unfortunately, just because I'm still busy as shit, which is annoying. But Going to the OKC Rockets game, I think it's a Shea game. I think it's an SGA game. People might not think that he's looking like he's trying too hard. He's putting up too many threes. I get it. But for SGA, what I like most is like he's had a couple bad games. Had a couple that he didn't really need to try that hard against the Magic. Thought he pulled some bad shots there. Same against the Clippers. They won that by 13. Some of these blowouts, I think, are really helping his points come down. Right now, he had 28 against the Nuggets, and they lost by 2. So I'm actually surprised he's at 27.5. Like, what do they think? Dylan Brooks is going to just get on him and be the guy that like shuts him down? Last year, he crushed Dylan Brooks when he did that, and that's because they give up stuff to the primary ball handler. Right? Like SGA, he took 23. 18 and 21 shots. So normal shots for him, right around 20, still killed him because he gets to the free throw line 6, 9, and 9 times because they foul a ton. They give up a ton of points to the pick and roll ball handler, primary scorer. They give up a ton in isolation because they just leave their guys on an island. They don't give up assists. In fact, under assists for SGA combined with the points is another nice little look. So it's under is minus 154. That's probably what I should be doing with SGA. Yeah. What's the best number? So on DraftKings, you can get minus 130 for under 6.5 assists. I love that. All right. Let's see what that looks like. SGA under rebounds over points. You get the nice negative correlation there. I'm going to look over here first because the numbers are best on this one, but this is probably worth a little SGP play. Let's look same game parlay and we're going to go to Shy's stuff here. I think I'm with you on that, Paul Wynn. I think that Isaiah Stewart, obviously he's going to be the center in there for them. They're going to need him, but he's going to have his hands full. That's for damn sure. Let's look at points for SGA. Let's start with 25 plus. Gets you minus 245, but we combine this with under on the assists. If you go, oh no, this is plus. I want the under. Under 6.5 gets you plus 170 to combine it with him to get 25 plus. This season, he's been pretty good on the dimes. That's for sure. Yeah. He's averaging 6.8. So he's averaging right around what he needs to get. He's at exactly 50%. But this is a team that doesn't give up assists, right? I'll show you what I mean. Pulling up Shy. I'm going to call him Shy. I'm going to call him Shy. So if we pull up his dimes to look at their rank against, so versus point guards, limiting assists, 11th fewest, first in terms of overall assists. But I mean, they don't come off of their guys to help out, right? So I mean, we tried this with Jalen Brunson against his team. Obviously, it didn't work, and he's not even getting as many assists as SGA. That's the thing is like it's possible that they kind of messed with their defense in a way that's making it different than what I'm used to for the Rockets. But what did he do with their versus them assist wise last year? Yeah, he had one game where he got 7 on 14 potentials. Yeah, probably not worth it. I still just think the points are the play. He's not going to necessarily have to pass off. He's going to keep getting his. So I like that for SGA. I want to see what ETR projects him at, though, just because I'm now curious. OKC. 34 minutes, 28.8 points. Still gets you over the 27.5. But, yeah, I like this a lot. One look that I actually thought was pretty good from a buddy in this game was Jalen Green. Potentially turnovers. So 3.5. The over is plus 115. He's done this. Let's see if we did it versus them last year. Only over one time. Got the ball. He's 28 minutes, 25, 32. He's playing more minutes than that this year. 33, 32, 35. Yeah, he's playing 30 in every game. So even when the ones that are getting blown out. Still only the turnovers twice, but that might be a look. I thought it was 2.5 earlier. So 3.5 for plus 120, though. I don't hate it, to be honest, for him to get. Oh, he needs 4. God damn. Yeah, I guess not. 2.5, it was worth it. 3.5, it's not. But I think he's going to get hella turnovers. All right, let's. There was a request for Jalen Williams. Let's look at J-Dub real quick. J-Dub just as likely as SGA to get 20 points for sure. Averaging 19.6. I mean, he's going to do similar stuff, but he is spotting up a bunch more when SGA is on the floor. They play together too much. and he gets the spot ups off of SGA, then he plays with the second unit, and he is the primary ball handler in the second unit. But it's a little bit his usage isn't the same, is really what it comes down to. What did he do against his team last year? Did he play without SGA? Yeah, he played this one without SGA. Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. So he did have some nice numbers against them last year too. 33 minutes. Yeah. But I still just 19 and a half. That's right around his averages. So it's more of a coin flip to me, unless you think you have some kind of edge with his play type, his matchup, anything. Obviously Chet has chilled out a bit. What's his threes at? Always down to look at his threes. It's at plus 126. And his assist, to be honest, too. I mean, he's playing against Şengün. He has not been doing much. And he's gone not cold, but, not nearly as involved in the last three. So, yeah. I mean, Chet might be a look at the PRA even. If you're looking at 27.5, even in his cold streak a bit, the minutes and the usage are there. I think a blowout is possible here. That's another thing to be scared of. I'm hoping that SGA is the reason that they get there. For the blowout, because I do like his points best coming off some bad performances and playing a team that he's very comfortable with and likes scoring against. So, all right, let me get to a few more, and I got a dip. Let's look at these Nuggets and Heat. I really want to go under for Jamal, to be honest with you. I want to go under on his PRA, but I want it at 28.5. And I don't want it at minus 125 and minus 130. This was like minus 110. I would really like the under PRA for him. He's gone over against bad defenses, gone under against good defenses, and we're calling the Heat a good defense, even if they are at like 13th in defensive rating and have not been a good rebounding team. This is going to be a slow, nasty game. Last year was the same. I think he had a lack of minutes in one of those, though. I wouldn't count on it too much, but I think 28.5 under for Jamal gets you a good edge. He was actually still questionable for this game. So there was even the possibility he didn't play. It does look like he's gonna, but he was with a concussion. It's going to be a rough, tough game. I'm putting that on the bottom line, honestly, as a lean. I like the under on that right now. So, yeah, I'm going to take that. I'm looking at Jamal under. It's just a matter if I want to start playing volume or not. Under 28.5 PRA. All right, I hate to do this, y'all. I gotta dip a little bit early today. Try my best for y'all, but there's a couple other things I got to get to. And like I said, I'm just fried. So I appreciate y'all. Give that video a like if you would, at the very least. Hopefully you got something out of it. I know I didn't get through everybody I wanted to. Christian Brown, I do think is a better over than under, since he's already on here for you, Cody. He's still going to play 30-something minutes, and I don't think Jamal is in for his full slate of minutes if he's still sort of hobbling between questionable and not in a tough game versus Miami. I do like the under for him. I like for Murray, and I do think I would be taking overs for Christian Brown as a result of liking unders for Murray. So anyway, y'all, the leans are going to be on the pinned comment on the video. Appreciate y'all. If you still have some bets you want to go over, jump in the free Discord if you want. That will still get you access to me if you want to tag me at JL Boogie. Jump in that free Discord. Links in the description of the video. Also have the VIP Discord if you want all the bets that I am making. All these are strong leans, obviously, and I'm trying to help you all find your plays while we do this. But then I'm making my own bets, and people that want to tail those, that's in the VIP section of the Discord. There's a nice discount if you want it for the season pass. On the link is on the description of the video, so you can get that over at WAP.com. We are now back up to over a unit. Went up about 7.5 and then lost a few of that in 3 bad nights out of 4. But we're coming back. We had a nice little winning night last night, 4-1, including the NFL. So appreciate you guys. Until I see y'all next, happy betting.